Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take your sources, boil them down, and get you the key insights fast.
Get you up to speed quickly.
Exactly. So today, we're looking at a really compelling personal story from a listener, Nora.
Mm-hmm.
It tracks her journey, basically building up her father's construction company, and then, well, a major turning point about who takes over.
Yeah, it's got all the ingredients, doesn't it? Family business, years of hard work, and then this really surprising succession choice.
Right. So our mission here is to unpack Nora's account, look at the dynamics, and maybe pull out some wider insights about, dedication, recognition, and finding your own way.
Absolutely. It touches on themes I think a lot of people can connect with.
Okay, let's jump in. So Nora tells us she was involved right from the start, practically. 15 years old.
Yeah, 15. And this wasn't some established giant firm. It was small, right?
Really small.
Mm-hmm.
She calls it a modest construction company in a town that was barely a blip on the map.
Paints a picture, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Lean beginnings. Probably everyone doing a bit of everything.
Totally. And she was right in it. Warehouse work, learning blueprints, dealing with suppliers, the real nuts and bolts.
Seems her father really pushed that work ethic. She mentions grit.
Yeah, grit and a relentless pursuit of excellence. Sounds like he was good at spotting chances, reading people, building relationships.
Key skills for starting a business, definitely. Seeing the opportunity.
But Nora makes this interesting point. She saw him as the visionary, but she says her role was being the executioner of his dreams.
Ah, that's a crucial distinction. He has the idea, she makes it happen.
It's a common setup, isn't it? Especially in family firms.
It is. The founder with the vision, the next generation focused on operations. It can work really well.
But it can also cause issues later, maybe, about who really built it.
Potentially, yeah. Or who's seen as having the right stuff for the future.
And Nora definitely seems to have done the building part. She talks about tough times, the company hanging by a thread.
Right, but she kept finding ways, pulled them through market downturns, setbacks. That shows real tenacity.
You can't argue with the results either. By her 30s, the company's worth over $75 million.
$75 million, that's serious growth. And a solid reputation in their region, too. That doesn't just, happen.
No kidding. And you really get her sense of investment when she says, every single penny of it I built with my own two hands.
That's powerful. It wasn't just a job for her. It was hers, built through her effort.
So hitting that 75 million mark,
Yeah.
that must have felt huge, a validation.
Absolutely. And her father apparently acknowledged it, too. She mentions him saying, "You did it, Nora," with a smile, even.
Which sounds like it was maybe rare, that explicit praise.
Could be. But a really significant moment for her, you'd imagine. Reinforcing that she'd achieved something major, maybe setting expectations for what's next.
Yeah, expectations.
Yeah.
Which leads us to the turn. So just a normal morning, she's maybe thinking about the next project.
Business as usual.
And her father calmly brings up the future. He's getting older, needs to think about new leadership. All sounds reasonable.
Standard succession planning talk initially. Makes sense.
Until he drops the bombshell. Your brother will take over now. Just like that.
Wow. Okay. That's the pivot right there. The
Yeah.
core conflict. Seems to come out of nowhere given her history.
And Nora's reaction is just shock. Disbelief. She describes her brother as, well, not exactly involved before this.
Not interested. More into partying, maybe expecting an inheritance.
That's the picture she paints. None of the blood, sweat, and tears she put in.
So the contrast is stark. Her years of building versus his apparent lack of contribution. It immediately makes you question the why.
Naturally, she tries to reason with him, points to her achievements. Seems logical.
But the father's explanation is interesting. He calls Nora the worker.
The worker. And says the brother has the vision, the right touch for the future.
That framing worker versus vision, that's tricky. It can really diminish the strategic input of the person who actually executed the growth.
Exactly. It feels like he's completely dismissing her role in getting them to 75 million. Like that wasn't leadership.
And vision can be such a subjective term, can it? Especially if the brother hasn't actually demonstrated any specific vision before this point. What's it based on?
Good question. Nora obviously feels betrayed. Years of sacrifice just ignored.
Understandably. And the way he apparently said it, "You did good, kid," a bit condescending.
Yeah, that's how it comes across. Dismissive, like patting her on the head after she built an empire.
That invalidates everything. And then the finality. "Well, that's how it is, Nora. Get used to it." Oof.
Just shuts the door completely. No discussion.
A real my way or the highway moment, leaving her feeling like everything she worked for is just gone.
But she also says she's determined not to let it end there. That Grit, maybe.
Yeah, that sense of injustice, even when it's crushing, can be a real fire starter. It suggests she's not just going to fade away.
The days immediately after sound awful, though. She talks about being in a fog.
Totally understandable. Can't concentrate, just replaying the unfairness. The contrast between her work and her brother's lack of it.
That must have been constantly on her mind. Plus, the office atmosphere probably changed too, right? People knew.
Oh, for sure. That would add another layer of difficulty. Feeling watched, maybe judged, isolated.
But she decides she has to talk to her father again. She's not a quitter.
True to form. Gotta try one more time.
Doesn't go any better, though. He just repeats the same reasoning. She's a great worker, but not a great leader. He doubles down on the vision thing for the brother.
It really highlights this massive disconnect, doesn't it? He just doesn't seem to see her capabilities the way the actual results suggest he should.
Or maybe doesn't want to see them. It's hard to know.
There could be underlying assumptions there about family roles, gender, who knows. But the outcome is he's sticking to his guns.
Which leads Nora to say, "Then I'm done, Dad." That takes guts.
A huge moment, walking away from something you poured your life into. But it speaks volumes about her self-respect.
She wasn't going to stay where she wasn't valued for who she was and what she'd done.
Exactly. Staying would mean accepting his diminished view of her. Her father tried to soften it then, apparently, but it was too late.
Yeah, she wouldn't listen. She'd made her stand. And she was determined her work wouldn't be for nothing.
Setting the stage for what comes next.
So she leaves. There's that initial void, thinking about what was lost. But she's analytical, right? Starts thinking strategically.
It's just wallow. Starts processing. Okay, what now?
And then, kind of out of the blue, she gets a call. Timothy, an old business partner.
Okay. This feels important. Someone from outside the family bubble.
Totally. And someone who clearly respected her abilities from before.
Yeah.
It's like CAC external validation.
Exactly. A different perspective. Someone seeing her skills without the family baggage overlaying it.
And he doesn't just offer sympathy, he offers a partnership. Wants her help expanding his company globally.
Wow. So he sees her as a builder, a leader. The very things her father couldn't or wouldn't see.
Right. He recognizes her experience in growing a business from, well, not scratch, but significantly.
That's a massive vote of confidence. Not just a job, but a partnership. A chance to build something again. But this time, on her own terms.
She hesitates at first, which makes sense. Big upheaval.
Of course. After that kind of betrayal, trusting a new situation, especially a partnership, takes careful thought.
But she goes for it, sees it as a fresh start, a chance to prove herself without that shadow.
Yeah, you'd weigh the risks, the potential, the alignment of values, but the chance to build something for herself must have been incredibly appealing.
And she just dives right in. Research, networking, investor meetings, the works.
Sounds intense, but she also calls it thrilling.
Because she's in control this time, making the calls, driving it forward.
That autonomy is huge. After feeling like a worker bee, now she's steering the ship. It probably felt amazing, even with the pressure.
And the partnership with Timothy sounds like it clicked really well. His strategy, her execution.
That synergy is key, isn't it? Mutual respect, complementary skills. Sounds like they found that balance.
And the new company starts growing. Nora starts feeling her confidence return, her sense of self-worth.
Rebuilding not just a business, but herself, too. Finding that capability again, recognized by her partner this time. Timothy calls her driven, having vision and heart.
Vision. The thing her father said she lacked.
The irony. And now they're looking at global expansion, big stakes.
Huge. She reflects on the past, but she's clearly focused forward now, on her new path, her independence.
That internal shift is crucial. Processing the past, but not being defined by it. Using it as fuel, maybe.
And she nails the pitch to the board for the global expansion.
Yeah.
A major win.
Fantastic. And in that moment, she realizes the success. It's all hers. Nobody else gets the credit.
Must be incredibly liberating. A complete contrast to before.
Absolutely. No ambiguity. Just her own capability delivering results. Powerful affirmation.
So the new business is flying, but there's still some contact with the family. Father, brother, occasionally.
Awkward maybe, or just distant.
Probably a mix. But then her father calls. And this time, he acknowledges her success. Says he's proud.
That's significant. A change of tune, prompted by her visible success elsewhere.
It seems like it. But Nora's response is measured. She basically says, thanks, but this is for me.
Good for her. Setting boundaries. Acknowledging his words, but not needing them in the same way anymore. He does finally admit she's capable, though.
Yeah, a little late, but maybe some closure there.
Perhaps. And then there's another call later on from her brother, Jason.
Right. He asks about her new venture. Seems he's heard about her success.
Kind of testing the waters.
Maybe. He even offers something like an apology, sort of veiled, like didn't realize what you could do.
Interesting. A bit of backtracking, perhaps, now that she's proven herself independently, and maybe things aren't going so well back home.
Bingo. Nora keeps her focus. I'm on my own path. And then Jason admits it. The family company. It's struggling under his leadership.
Ah, there it is. The vision wasn't enough, maybe. Or execution matters, after all.
Seems that way. He even floats the idea, just for a second, of asking Nora to come back.
Wow, the nerve. After everything. But it speaks volumes about the reality of the situation he created or inherited.
But Nora's having none of it. Absolutely not. She's found her place, her path. She's not going back.
Resolute, complete independence now. She doesn't need to rescue them or prove anything else to them.
There's a final exchange. Sounds sort of amicable, but distant. And she ends feeling free, knowing her current success is 100% hers.
A really powerful conclusion. From being undervalued and dismissed to building something bigger and better entirely on her own terms.
So just to wrap up Nora's journey, incredible dedication, that shocking setback, but then this amazing comeback, forging her own path to success.
Yeah, we saw the complexities of family businesses, didn't we? The deep need for real recognition, and honestly, the power of believing in yourself when others don't.
It really leaves you thinking, doesn't it? We want to leave you with this question. What does genuine recognition actually mean to you? And have you ever found an unexpected detour, maybe something that felt like a failure at the time, actually led you somewhere better?
Think about Nora's story in your own context. Those times you felt your work wasn't seen, or when a big change happened. Could those moments looking back have been turning points towards something unexpected, maybe even more fulfilling?
Nora's resilience and her determination to define her own success. It's a potent reminder for navigating our own challenges, personal or professional. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.